Hi there, Squid friends. Welcome back to Low Tide City's Splatoon 2. I'm joined here with Fusion, and we're going to be playing the Bronze Swiss bracket out for you guys. So we're going to be taking you guys through that. And so we're going to be playing with 6 different teams. All of these teams got last place in their pool, and they're going to be competing for, some extra games, some extra experience, but it should be some pretty good matches. A lot of these teams know each other personally. A lot of these teams are really closely matched, so should still be pretty exciting, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so I'm Fusion. There's a lot of kind of formidable teams that are still showing up in this bronze bracket. So even though they've gotten last in their pool, I know Up the Ante in particular, I was watching some of their sets earlier. I feel like they all went very close. So still, and I think several of these teams are frequent low-ink participants and/or I'm not sure if any of them are graduates of low-ink, but very familiar.
There are definitely a few.
Yeah, there's some familiar faces there for sure. Mm-hmm. And yeah, first off, I just want to say I am glad to be commentating here, and I've had a blast so far. It's been a long time since I've been to an event like this, and it's been so fun.
Yeah, COVID really shut things down for a good while there, and so this is a lot of people's first chance to get back to a Splatoon land, so I was really excited to get out to it, the first opportunity I got as well. And it's really cool, like at a LAN, you get to meet all the people that you're friends with online, and it's also just like there's an insanely high level of play at a LAN all the time. Like, we're talking about these, these teams that, okay, they got last place in their pool, but they're, low-ink graduates, like we're saying. There are a lot of really experienced competitive players, people who've been around for years and been grinding games the whole time. So it should be a lot of fun to watch. We're getting in here. We're going to be watching Twilight Night Sinkers. That's going to be a tongue twister and a half versus the Hater Squad here. So these are 2 pickups, all consisting of a number of different people that I know and play with quite a bit. So Twilight Night Sinkers is going to be Trell, going to be Jimmy, Falco, and Sky. And then on Hater Squad, we've got X-Ray, Boshin, OBT, and Pincher. OBT for short, for OB's Tyrese. That's what he usually goes with in game. It's above the character limit, So, I can speak a little bit to what these players play. Jimmy's going to be on Charger, probably exclusively, and OBT is a Dynamo player, so it kind of shows you what the backline's probably looking like there. X-Ray's an H3, one trick. We've played a bunch of pickups and stuff with him.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I actually saw someone pull out the Klugas earlier, and it may have been Sky. So if they do pull out the Kensa Klugas, that's something I'm always excited to see. I feel like we have some of the weapons that these people play, and there's a lot of I play Junior, I play NZAP, just like the normal armor weapons that you see. And then there's of course Devi on the Grillers, who's playing custom Hydra probably with the armor. There's also Kensa Glugas, which can support with the armor but plays like a slightly different role. So I'm interested to see how these roles are going to be kind of integrated into the team.
With Devi, for all we know, we're going to be seeing V Hydra instead. Devi's a big. It makes a lot of arguments for that particular.
Okay.
She likes the Autobomb in particular.
That makes sense.
Gives a lot of information. So let's see here. Starting off on it looks like Tower Control Ink Blot. So.
Okay. How do you feel about this map?
So I feel like Inkblot in general is just a really good map mode. This is one that can snowball really badly if a certain kind of if you don't have a certain kind of patience for defending it. If you let the opposing team onto your bats, that's really bad. You get like an inkjet up there, and you can just stall for 40 points, and there's just not a lot the other team can do. There's not a lot of great ways out of the base at that point. But if you're able to hold there, if the teams are even, it can be really, really exciting and really, really even. So it just kind of depends on whether you have the defense to not let it snowball like that is the way that I've seen it.
Yeah, like you said, the bats is that area that you just drop to right out of spawn on the right side. And yeah, it's a very easy way to just kind of drop directly into the enemy team and lets you get kind of sharked by enemies who hang near the wall.
Yeah.
So certain weapons have an easier time of dealing with that, like sloshers or rapid, etc. While I think the weapons we see more commonly in the game, like just shooters, have a hard time dealing with those edges. But we do have that Dynamo who can potentially deal with that, as well as the machine coming out on the other side, as we've got the Hater Squad coming out with that Dynamo and a Mini and a machine over on the other side. Already off to a quick start here as the Charger takes a spot up on that block on the left side, and Hater Squad is finding themselves on the back foot. They get a pick, and that will help them get in. The armor is going to help them initiate, and they'll try and regain this control of mid.
Yeah, Charger positioning on the left-hand side, so you saw Hater Squad trying to go out on the right here, and they do successfully win that fight by taking it away from the Charger. Smart play there, and they're going to have the first push of the game here. Let's see how the Twilight Night Sinkers can handle it right now. Through first checkpoint without a problem.
Yeah, look over in that top left. OBT doing a great job. Exactly what we mentioned before the game. That bats area is so important. Dynamo was able to just swing and flick a large amount of pain over that area. Bosian trying to survive on the tower, dancing around that pole, unable to get the checkpoint. X-Ray's going to try and make something happen, but that splashdown's going to put an end to that push. So no second checkpoint for the Hater Squad here, but still a very strong start. And it seems like this is not ending at all as Pincher getting 2 quick kills on members, coming back into mid, a third one, a fourth one.
Let's go.
The quad.
Immediate
That's
direct.
going to be a highlight for sure. Pincher trying to just paint up, do what they can to try and finish off that play there. Very nice, but unfortunately nobody else on the team. That's the deal with Inkjet. When you get a really clutch quad and then you recall like a mile back, your team needs to push back to like counter that. But yeah, here we go. There we go. Finally, the rest of the team, OBT and X-Ray, are pushing all up so far. The tower going all the way to 30, and this aggression is just coming out in full force here.
It's insane to see the Dynamo getting pushed up that far into their base. They're using it like you would expect them to use the T-Tech, staying up there, but it's so smart because they're right underneath ledges, and that's exactly where they get so many picks. OBT gets another one, and he's up there again, right underneath that ledge. No way, Jimmy stops that. Falco is down. Hater Squad just bulldozing through both of those last 2 checkpoints with all of the aggression in the world. Like it doesn't matter what weapon they are, they're all acting like frontliners right now, and it's really exciting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you'd love to see that kind of aggressive play, and I think that's really interesting. So I think when a team comp like this comes out, people might expect the Dynamo to kind of play like a backliney role, but I think in that case the Mini is a bit more of a standard option, or not standard option, but I think it's a good option. So it can supply the missiles, which lets it affect the game from a distance. Splatlings are also very good at dodging on tower. So if that's like the back line of your comp, that can be really good. Mini is just a really great kind of passive painting weapon and able to stay alive because of its mobility.
Yeah, they were able to really hold, I mean, in part because Pincher popped off with a triple in the middle of that,
course.
But also in part because they just had a lot of paint control, and as soon as they're pushing in, they're going to have the missile support from the Mini. So that was a really well-played team comp there. You know, it's not something that you typically see with that particular combination of weapons, but they're figuring out their strengths as a unit and making it work.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm interested to see if that changes up too much, because I don't really think that those players, I know that OBT is going to be basically one trick in that Dynamo. He might pull out a Flingza. That's about as crazy as it's going to get from him. And I know X-Ray is an H3 one trick. So it's like, how much flexibility do they really have? What else can they even really put out than what they've already done here if their players are so dedicated to those weapons? Shouldn't be too much more variety, and so I don't know, maybe that lets Twilight Night Sinkers kind of adapt and figure out, okay, who is it that is actually going to be running at us, or maybe it's just a strength for them that they're more experienced with that comp. They know how to play around it really well.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see, we've got Rainmaker Snapper coming up.
Yeah, and
we're probably going to see Bamboo coming out of Jimmy, so a little bit more mobile a comp from them. Unless he wants Ray. I don't know. He does really well on Ray, so maybe he just wants to keep that to stop Rainmaker pushes.
I feel like this map may be one where Dynamo has a bit of a harder time. Well, Rainmaker in particular, it's not great at popping. And yeah, there we go, actually. We see a Flingza. Flingza coming out. Flingza doing a lot of the same things as Dynamo, but actually coming out with the foil Flingza instead, which offers very useful special. I believe that's Suction Bomb missiles, if I'm not mistaken. And very nice. Yep, we kind of see Hater Squad getting a little bit too aggressive here. Jimmy is already eyeing up the Rainmaker. There's 2 down. There's 2 in mid. I think they really ought to push left in this situation.
I think Jimmy's just firing the shot there to divert them, make them think that they're going that way. I just want to point out, like I was saying, Jimmy might want the Ray. Brings out the Ray spam weapon, and that just makes perfect sense to me. He's going for it now. Got 45 points. Not too bad a push, but probably not a winning push either. Pincher going to be able to get in there and clean up 2 probably, and the pop gets a wipe actually. So.
Oh wow!
Was there a bomb?
I think that's actually so clutch. They got full wipes there, and I think this is a map where if you make a dash for it, you can easily get to like 40 or something.
Right.
So I think that really saved their butts there.
Twilight Knight Sinker's now going to be able to get in position to defend this push. Huge inkjet again from Pincher. Pincher has been popping off on this in this set. And there's another one. Probably, assist credit to Pincher and credit for the kill to X-Ray. But Trell getting in here in the way. Is that going to stop it? It is. Clutch play from Trell there from disadvantage. Stop the Rainmaker and stall just a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop the lead from going over.
Yeah, here comes Hater Squad pushing up onto that left side. This is the hardest bit to get through. The Rainmakers trying to push up. They all run directly into the blender, though, and get taken out by Twilight Knight Sinkers, but not before a push to 6, which is going to be very hard to defend.
At this point, you have to be thinking that Hater Squad is on full defense mode. No reason whatsoever they need to push. The other team needs to touch the pedestal, and that is really hard to do on this map. Hater Squad doing a great job getting it that far in the first place. We've got kind of a stall going on the right. Jimmy trying to break it with this Ray. Let's see if that gets anybody.
So I think, this is an interesting situation here over on that left side. When you have a Ray and the Rainmaker, you've just got 2 like inactive players. If they rush the Rainmaker in that situation, the push is dead, I think. So I really think there's kind of going to be more like supervision on the Rainmaker. And, when you have a push like this that you're trying to beat, that's like 5 or something, you really need to go all out. This is like a push that requires a team wipe. So you got to start getting people together, not be targeting people who are like over on the other corner of the map. And yeah, kind of like we're saying, it seems to have been continuing to happen this game, where just barely, a lot of members of Twilight Knight Sinkers are just kind of trickling in. They just kind of get caught like unaware by the roller or a random burst bomb, etc. Random H3 rather. It's something that they're going to have to do better if they want to take this game. Play a little bit more patiently.
And I definitely agree with your point about, maybe they need another frontliner up in front of the Rainmaker painting for it instead of like having 2 flanking from the other side. You need to kind of draw attention away from it a little bit in order for that flank to work. Pincher trying to get in there, and great movement from Jimmy and a great help from Sky. Get them in safely. Jimmy gonna go down eventually to X-Ray and Boshin. Trying to stand their ground here in the court area. I'm not sure if that's gonna work out for them. They don't have a lot of paint behind them. Boshin's kind of stuck there. Can Falco clean this up? No, Boshin with the clutch pickup. Pincher trying to come in from the flank and does pick it. So Pincher getting a double there saves the push, but you have to think, the positioning was starting to shift a little bit in Twilight Knight Sinker's favor. Game's not over yet. They've still got another push or so.
Yeah, we've just kind of been seeing Hater Squad pick apart the defenses, and here they just came up mid. You can kind of see, watch all these people push in front of the Rainmaker, get the picks, paint the ground in front of it. Look at them move together. They already have a score down to 5, but they don't. They're showing no signs of stopping. The Rainmaker makes a mad dash for it, and they dunk it. Whew.
They decided to just take matters into their own hands and do it themselves. They had a great numbers advantage going in there. Love the patience coming out of them when they were getting close. And, you look at a suction bomb in front of you. No, we got to back up. You look at all this paint going down in front of you. We got to back up. Got to wait. Got to play it safe. And they found their opening, and they were finally able to get in there.
Pincher dropping a 20 bomb there. We kind of saw them pop off in the first game. We didn't catch too many of their kills in this game, but we could kind of see from the overhead how repeatedly they were picking apart the Rainmaker pushes on the other side. Rainmaker is a death match if it goes to time.
Mm-hmm. It felt like Pincher was just getting a double every time he took an engagement. They're just, with that much slaying power, they kind of have to be, grouping up a little bit more carefully and taking their engagements more deliberately with specials to lead them off. Because, if you've got a player who's playing that hot on the other team, you got to kind of neutralize that somehow. Clam Blitz the Reef coming up next. So
this is tricky.
Yeah, I feel like Hater Squad might have a good opportunity here because this is going to make it a little bit more difficult to play backline weapons, whereas the Dynamo loves being able to slosh up over the top of the bridge there. So bridge control, you could see that going a little bit more in Hater Squad's favor. We'll have to see how Twilight Night Sinkers decides to handle it, what comps they decide to bring out with that.
Yeah, definitely. When you think smaller, aggressive maps, this is definitely one of them, especially for Clam Blitz like this and Mako. So the battle for the bridge is what's going to define this match here. We see that mini coming out again, and we don't really see any changes or too many changes in this comp. Actually, never mind. We have double armor coming out. When things aren't going your way, just add another armor. But I think this is interesting, actually, with the Junior, with those double bombs, kind of able to provide a similar kind of like chip damage at a range. And yeah, already, Twilight Night Sinkers starting off a lot better than they have in the previous few times. You see the power climb coming in. Oh, out of ink. Dynamo's not going to be able to shut down that push. The missiles are going to keep it going. The clams are coming in. And Twilight Night Sinkers is making something happen.
Yeah, this is a huge sign of life from them. Really great to see for the their health in the set. That's probably going to be the end of the push there, but Trell going to make themselves a nuisance and probably buy some time and prevent Hater Squad from pushing any further into mid here. And the best thing, Trell is still safe. Trell can back up from that around the corner anytime they want to, but that's giving their team so much time to push in and take control of Street while the rest of the team is backed up trying to deal with Trell. They get another clam in, basically uncontested. No picks went down.
Jump.
And a jump for another power clamp. This is insane. They're enforcing their will on the other team right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can see that position that Trell took over in that top left side was so good. It keeps the enemy staring at that right side. It means they can't just drop to Street because anyone could just jump behind them. And, oh, my God, Falco fighting for their life there. Unable to get away. That can kind of happen when you chill by that light post. Already 19 clams on the board for Hater Squad, but they got to get a push going. They all seem to drop into that right side, which is a bit awkward. Looks like they're going to try and force something to happen with that Booyah, but seems like they're having a hard time getting in. They're going to get that one power clam in. No, they're not actually, and this push is going to be dead in the water. And wow, this game is night and day compared to the other ones. Twilight Night Sinkers is in full control.
And they're going to have another power clam in here. I don't see how they stop this. So much map control that they've had all game. Just shutting down. I think one of the big things is that they're really isolating the Dynamo here and preventing it from getting into play too hard. It's not really a threat under ledges because they see where it is and they're hitting it with the jet. This might be the end of the game. Jimmy gets this in. That was just 100-0.
Wow.
No score on the board whatsoever from Hater Squad. They had one attempt at a push. It got completely shut down. That was just a complete reversal of how this has been going so far.
Yeah, wow. That was, very surprising and a really great play. I think the real play of that game was Trell getting up into that top left. That enabled the push to stick around for as long as it did. And, just that position is very strong. If you've ever played on this map, you're always annoyed by someone who's in your car. And more than like anything else. Even if killing them isn't the right play sometimes, it's just like they're right there.
It's like you got something stuck in your teeth. You just got to like stick your finger up there and get it out, no matter how gross it looks, right? And that's the perfect weapon to be doing it too. The K machine. It's so annoying up there because it can just back up and use its range. It can slosh up over the car. It's mobile enough that it can back up when it needs to. Like just such a pain to get specifically Trell up in there, denying so much space and skirmishing so hard. None of them even left, into their street.
No, they just
after that push was over.
Yeah, I think we kind of saw the Hater Squad getting together for an attempted push, but they actually all dropped from bridge. And once you all drop onto that right side, so bridge is like it's kind of like a neutral ground, right? You could push street, you could push the alley, you could
you got options.
You have options. Once you drop onto that side, you kind of telegraph exactly what you're going to do. They're like, oh, we're going to push directly through this little small opening and straight to the basket. And that kind of lets the enemy team just like fire at that area. They don't need to worry about the birds. They can just take it for themselves now.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can hard commit. You can get flanks set up.
Yeah, you gotta like not, team play is important, but not all doing the same thing is also important.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go on to Zones Anchovy. My take on this is that this one's just a little bit more of a slugfest. You're just kind of slugging it out in mid. There's not that many flank routes, and they're very telegraphed if you're going for them. A lot of the time, it's just who can win in the flat ground in mid. You might be able to use a little bit of fan and use some cover there, but a lot of the time, it's just once you take mid, you're able to immediately take their plat and start locking out. Let's see how this goes here in the opening moments. Got a booyah going out, but overall, Twilight taking control here. They're going to try and hunt down this player on the left. Let's see if they can get out. They can.
Yeah, you kind of saw that this awkward battle going on where people sit on their own fan and have to do half and half, where they paint the zone and keep the fan up and paint the zone and keep the fan up. Sky getting a little bit too overeager there, gets picked off by the Dynamo, and that's going to start something off for Hater Squad to come back in. This rain is coming off through the zone. We have a Booyah coming in as well. That's going to get the recap, but without any members going down, this is definitely a map where you could recap the zone without killing anyone, and if you don't do that, if you do that, it doesn't necessarily mean all that much. We kind of see Twilight Knight Twilight Knight Tinkers here painting back up the zone. They still have reasonable control of mid, even though they lost that zone for a bit there. Jimmy and Sky doing what they can to just paint the zone, keep on that fan, and stay alive.
Yeah, I like the pick from Jimmy to go to the Vanilla Jet for the Toxic Mist, which can really make it annoying for the other team to try and paint the zone, but also the missiles, which paint a lot and scatter the enemy team. So I think that's going to be doing a lot of work for them. A great trade over there on the left-hand side for Twilight Knight. You have to imagine that a trade, when you have the zone in this position, that's only going to delay the other team from pushing. That's going to probably give your team time to get in. Maybe not quite enough time, though. They're trying to get control back here, but it looks like they're going to try and play it patient, wait for the other specials. They know the enemy team has a lot coming out.
Here comes Pincher over on that left side. Perhaps a little bit in no man's land there. They do make it out there, though the missiles are going to make it a little bit awkward. But wow, here Pincher doesn't even care. He gets out of that sticky situation and immediately gets a quad. Hello.
Pincher, if it fails once, just try it again. And you know what? You might just succeed the second time around. Goes in, stays alive with some great movements, and then they're able to put in a huge amount of work on that fight. They put a bomb rush into the enemy base to stall. They get another pick on Falco. That's huge. That's the junior. That's a painting weapon. They're in control right now, and having OBT underneath is a huge problem for them to deal with as the backline.
Pincher still just being a menace over on that left side, baiting so many members of Twilight Knight Sinkers to drop there. That is not the place you want to drop, not as a whole team. If you all drop there, you get stuck. Trell dropping nicely, using that high ground advantage to get some picks with the machine, and that's going to neutralize the zone. They could use a splashdown to cap it, but they're not going to need to, and that's a really, really big play. Going over into that top right area, using that high ground to try and clear people out is very, very important on this map. Trell trying to make something happen on the aggressive there, not supported entirely by the team though, but that Jet Squelcher is going to keep members of the Hater Squad, at bay in the office there, so that the timer will continue ticking down. They're not in full control here, but they're doing their best. Trell staying alive, and yet again, the Hater Squad members just continue jumping out before they die. And they're still having a hard time getting in. The timer's ticking down, and it's almost a tied game. Here come the Hater Squad trying to make something happen.
They pop the armor, they pop the Booyah. The Booyah goes out on zone. They're going to be able to cap, but can they hold it for too long? Looks like they're 2 down, and so Twilight Knight going to be able to recap. And the question is, can this stall out long enough for the Hater Squad? They only have a minute left, but their lead is hanging by a thread, and Twilight Knight still in control of the zone. They're going to have to put so much effort towards getting that. Sky in so much trouble there. They weasel their way out of it, and Twilight Knight still with a numbers advantage. They're still going to be able to keep the zone here. The cap did go down for Hater Squad, so they have some time to work with. The game is not over yet, but it is going to come down to this push here. If they can't stop them right now, Twilight Knight is going to take the lead.
Oh, okay, this is a little weird. Everyone's over on that left side. Okay, Falco's recognizing it, backing up a little bit. Yeah, I think one of the members of Hater Squad's going for that flank. They're aware of it. It's OBT, it's the Dynamo, but the Dynamo gets a pick. OBT gets a very nice pick, but Falco clutches it out and stays alive. Pincher versus
zone.
Falco over on the left side. They're trying to kill the zone, but the Hater Squad takes it back with just 1 tick to go.
And now they just have to hold forward. Twilight Knight does not have time to farm specials. They do not have time. They need to just hold forward and hope that Pincher's not there sharking them. 7 seconds, 6. I don't see them getting close enough to the zone. They need to get a ton of paint on there right now. The splashdown not going to do it, and that's game.
Oh my gosh. That flank, yeah, that was what I was about to say. When everyone goes onto the plat, nobody's watching the flank. They realized it, but the Dynamo just got there too fast for them. OBT with a very nice flank, an awareness of that situation, and it's a very clutch situation. And of course, Pincher popping off again, getting the picks exactly when they're needed.
Falco did a great job of dropping back and covering, recognizing that. That's maybe a little bit of that support impulse. You're like looking out at the rest of the team. When should I use armor? Wait a minute. So they spotted that, and they tried to do the best they could for that. But by the time that OBT was already down there, it was already collapsing a little bit. They'd already lost some of their forward pressure and just barely able to get the cap in time. But my goodness, was that a close one. 3-1 easily could have been a game 5.
Oh,
easily.
Yeah. I mean, 1 or 2 games in, it was not looking like the set was going to go on at all. But the third game was just dominant the other direction. And that game was as close as could be. So, I mean, really great job to Twilight Knight Sinkers for putting up a really good fight there.
Absolutely.